TitleMatchNetwork.com.
We left Memphis and went to Minneapolis. Stayed there 1 year. Came back to Memphis and stayed there. I guess about another year. But they had like buried us so bad when we left there. Like the hometown boys have gotten too big for their pants. For the little southern towns, they want to go wrestle in Salt Lake City and Los Angeles and San Francisco. So then when we came back, they tried this, the boys are back in town, videos and stuff, but everybody's like, yeah, I don't know, those guys turned their backs on us. So we were never like, nearly over as strong then as we had been originally. So we stayed there for a while, and then we left for Florida, and we stayed in Florida, I guess, about six to 9 months. That's when Steve decided he was going to go into the real estate business. So he quit. And
you had a big feud down there, I guess, with the Sheepherders too.
Yeah.
What do you remember of some of those matches?
Was that with Jonathan Boyd?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He was a rough guy. He was real stiff, and he was nice, but yet you couldn't really trust the guy. Yeah. I was always a little leery of him. He cut Steve one night in Nashville. Steve's blade got lost. He swallowed it or something, and he asked John for his blade. Of course, now with the H thing, you'd never do that. It'd be crazy. But back then I was like BA before H, and John, instead of giving Steve his blade to cut with, John cut Steve. But instead of doing a cut here, he cut him way. Here, well, there's a vein that runs down the middle that will bleed, a whole lot. But here is an artery. So Steve got his artery slashed. So he's like actually squirting blood about 3 feet, and the whole ring is just, it smelled that raw blood. Yeah. And the ring was just getting soggy. And he was just covered, and he's getting weak, and he almost died. So that was a scary night, for us. He almost, bled out. Yeah, it was bad. But I'm sure Johnny didn't do it on purpose. But he just was kind of reckless,
right?
Kind of crazy.
Who was booking at the time down there?
In Florida?
Was it Mike Graham?
Gosh, Dusty was down there. J.J. Dillon was down there. Hiro Matsuda was down there. Mike Graham too was there. I don't really recall it. I think Dusty was actually booking.
Didn't y'all leave Jacques Rougeau and Teyy Taylor on the side of the road or something?
Yeah, who sure
they argued or something.
Yeah, Keirn was a hell of a ribber.
Yeah. Right.
Jacques Rougeau and Teyy Taylor just never got along. It's kind of like water and oil. They just did not mix, and we're traveling with them for a while. Jacques, I think, had just come to the territory. He'd been there about a month, and every time we'd go on a trip, they start arguing in the back seat. It's like two women. So finally, Steve Keirn goes, you know what? The next time they start arguing, he said, we're going to leave them on the side of the road. I thought he was kidding. So we're driving back from Evansville, Indiana, and I think some beers are being consumed and stuff, and they're arguing again. And I look at Keirn. Keirn goes. So he pulled over and said, let's pee. So, okay, everybody gets out to pee. Me and Steve get out, zip down, zip back up, jump in the car, and took off and left them there. They're probably going, they'll come back. But we didn't. We left them there. That's great. I think they got picked up about half an hour later. Yeah. Somebody came by and saw them thumbing or somebody picked them up.
That's okay. Also, we were talking a little bit about Vern Gagne. What was he like to work for? We heard a lot of stories about Vern as far as...
Yeah, Vern was just... he never really, to me came into the modern times. He was stuck in that time warp, and he brought Steve Keirn and I in there as the Fab Ones, supposedly as baby faces, but yet he was having us do heel interviews. He was saying, "Yeah, get on there and God damn it, brag about all the girls that call you and they're." Girls want to date you and movie stars, wanting stuff. So Steve and I are going, well, that's going to turn us heel. He goes, oh, no, I won't, but it did.
Right.
It turned us heel. We're only going, yeah, we party with movie stars every day. We're in bars and women love us. And there are people going, you bunch of pricks. So, he was a nice guy, but he just, to me, he hadn't come into the 20th century, the way that he should have. He was trying. he was like, locked into that Midwestern thing. He had his his TV show, and for years and years it was like so successful. But then when Vince went nationwide and the Superstation, cable is what passed Vern
Right.
up. He was still locked in the little garage thing with like a row or two of people to watch, and everything's great. But times change.
How many TV did y'all do a week? Did just do one TV? Cycling around?
Yeah, I think we just did one TV, if I remember correctly. It's pretty sad if I remember correctly. It's been so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we just did one TV a week.
Now he had one big show, the Wrestle Rock show. What are your memories of that show?
Yeah, I'm trying to think who we worked with. You remember?
Was it the Rovers? That's
It was in the Metrodome.
Yeah.
I know that. And,
I don't remember.
it
What
wasn't.
was it called?
It was
Wrestle
called
Rock?
Wrestle Rock. Yeah, that was like a prelude to the pay-per-view
Right,
stuff,
right. It was
which
one of those
was
big shows.
kind of cool. I don't really remember a lot about it. I recall that the Metrodome was not nearly filled. I remember it was like maybe a quarter of the crowd was there. But I can't remember who we actually worked with or anything like that. So I guess my memories aren't that good of that.
You guys all
How was Jackie Fargo like?
he was a good guy.
How did you hook up with him though originally?
That was done through Jerry Jarrett. The fabulous, Jackie Fargo, the fabulous Fargo brothers, the Fabulous Ones. We were like his proteges.
Right.
And he was, he didn't go to the towns with us. He would just do the interviews for us. He'd be sitting there, and he's a legend. And especially back then, everybody really remembered who he was. So he gave Steve and I his stamp of approval, and that really got us over strong. By him saying, because he was a baby face, but yet he was a rugged, a kick-ass kind of
Brawler.
fighter baby face. And so that's what Steve and I sort of wore. We wore the tails and the top hats, but yet we were do the blood and guts type thing too.
What are your memories of the vignettes you guys used to do with Billy Squire song?
Oh, great! Just fun stuff. We did all those. My favorite one was the ZZ Top one, because I kind of produced that one a little bit
Right.
myself. Jerry Jarrett started out doing them, and then he said, "You guys do them," and it was fun. Kind of like the producer. Okay, I want the band to come in here, and the Harley pull in here, and you girls come over here and kiss me, or it was just a lot of fun, kind of like a Hollywood type of deal.
Do you have any good memories of teaming with Steve Keirn? And
Yeah.
What was he like outside the ring?
He was a fun guy. He was married, at the time, but yet, and he had a good, compromise between being a family man, a father, but yet being a cool guy, on the road too.
Right.
He was always a real smart guy. He was business, but yet he could have, some fun. He was never like a nightclub guy the way I was, as
Right.
far as I love to go out and dance, and I love to go out and and chase women and stuff. He wasn't
Right.
like that.
Did y'all
Watch
leave?
thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.